Hello everyone, I'm Kibin Alleyne and today is Tuesday, February 6th. You are now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. The nonprofit organization South Bronx United has served the Bronx community since 2009. The organization recently launched a new program called Clubhouse Café. This program aims to provide job training to young adults ages 16 to 24. By opening the Clubhouse Cafe, the program offers young community members an opportunity to gain real-world job experience and skills to help them in their future careers. Executive Director and co-founder Andrew So, as well as Heidy Trujillo, a fellow of the Workforce Development at South Bronx United, joins me to discuss. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, I want to learn a little bit more about South Bronx United. So can you tell us a little bit more about that mission and the overall goal of the organization?
Yeah, sure. We're a nonprofit youth development organization that brings in young people through their passion for soccer. Combines soccer with academic enrichment, college prep, mentoring, immigration legal services, social work supports for youth and their families. And we work with about 1,600 young people every year, all the way from ages, really age 2 all the way up through 24.
That's amazing. And I was really, I was shocked to kind of hear about soccer and how it kind of branched out into doing so many other things, one of those being the Clubhouse Cafe. Can you just explain, what inspired the creation of this program?
Of the cafe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a few different things. I think it traces back on the programmatic side to the Workforce Development Program, which was how do we support young people, helping them prepare for careers and prepare for the next steps after high school or after college. We have a lot of young people going on to college, but trying to figure out what's next, or figuring out college sometimes isn't for them, or they need a job or part-time job or something to support them through school. So that was one aspect of it. And then we have some young people that college isn't for them, and they're trying to figure out how to make that next jump in their life. So starting from the Workforce Development Program, kind of figuring out how we can support young people towards that. And we wanted to be able to provide something in-house. So we already had what was called the Coaching Corps, which provided young people opportunity to coach, learn to be coaches and mentors on the soccer field. But we wanted to have another aspect to it as well, because getting involved in coaching sports isn't for everyone. And we had the opportunity to, right where our offices are, on River Ave by Yankee Stadium, the opportunity to have a little space, and decided it would be a great opportunity to open a cafe right there, and it provided opportunity to provide employment to young people.
That's amazing, and I want to learn a little bit more about the cafe, but I want to hear from you, what actually drew you to the program? Was it the fact that it was a cafe, or maybe you were looking for experience? Can you just explain, what sparked that interest in you?
I think it was both, experience-wise, and also I enjoy coffee, so that was kind of my in as well. So yeah, I think the job experience, and I'm also studying business right now, so I think getting, to train there, I get a lot of different types of, skills that I will need in the future. So yeah.
That's amazing. And can you expand on, the reasoning behind actually creating a cafe? Because I think that's very unique in regard to workforce development. That's the first time I've heard of, an organization saying let's kind of focus on something that's super specific, like a cafe.
Yeah, sure.
And it's really interesting. So, can you talk about maybe why the organization wanted to go that route?
Yeah, and I spoke about the programmatic side to it, and the other side was the community aspect of it. So we had recently moved into our new office in our clubhouse about a year and a half ago. And there was this, we're on the second floor of the space there, and on the ground floor there was about a 600 square foot space. We'd been storing our stuff there while we waited for them to finish up the offices, and thought about what could we do with this space to support the programs. So the Workforce Development Program is what it became, but also provide more visibility to the organization and support the neighborhood and community in general. And I'd known that neighborhood, known it for many years. A lot of people I'm sure know it very well, right by Yankee Stadium. And surprisingly, there's been nothing in the neighborhood, no coffee shop. There's nowhere for folks to go sit down, do work while getting a really good coffee. There's diners and bars and but there's been nothing like a neighborhood coffee shop. So we thought it'd be a really good fit, and we've heard from the neighbors and residents and people that work there that they were looking for something like that. So we thought it'd be a really good fit in that aspect, supporting the neighborhood as well as providing a spot for us to get young people like Heidy into in behind the bar and give them a chance to work.
Now, can you talk about the partnership with local coffee roaster? I hope I'm saying this, Devoción?
Yeah, Devoción. Yeah.
Okay, can you talk about that partnership?
Yeah. So another reason, and I have no background in coffee. I have no background in running I run a nonprofit, but a small business or cafe, a restaurant of any kind.
Right?
Yeah, it's very different. But we had a board member that owns three cafes in the city and brought a lot of experience. And he brought in as well the connection with Devoción. And they do the coffee at his cafe. So we made the connection through there, got connected to the CEO, Stephen Sutton, and he was really excited about the prospect of supporting the Clubhouse Cafe. They're a B Corp, so they have it as part of their business model to support, have a mission-based support for the community. And they came in, they donated all the equipment for the cafe, so we didn't have to pay for that. They provide a great cost on the coffee beans themselves, and then they provide training for the young people in the Cafe Fellowship to train as baristas. So they go down to the roastery in Williamsburg, and then they do some training on our location as well.
That's amazing. And can you talk about, what that experience was like in the training?
I think it was really fun, like getting to actually, I think there's a lot of things that go into making coffee. I think we just think about, what type of milk we're gonna put and all that. But, I learned a lot of things like the smell of it, like the way you taste it, the way you have to grind it, the size. So yeah.
It's amazing. And I feel like it's almost kind of like an art to like there's people that's like very passionate. Do you feel like maybe your passion has grown, after like going through this program?
I think definitely it has. Yeah. My interest in coffee definitely grew. Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, I want to talk about the long-term effects of, the Clubhouse Cafe. How will this prepare young people for careers in hospitality?
Sure. I think most immediately, like, despite the lack of coffee shops and cafes in the Bronx and the South Bronx in particular, you go throughout New York City, and in Manhattan, there seems like there's one every other block, whether it's the Starbucks or a local shop or whatever. So there's a lot of employment opportunities once you get the skills to work. So you can translate to working in other cafes. They're also getting their food service certificate that can translate to working in all different establishments. So there's that side that can directly translate to working in any number of businesses. But we want to make sure that the young people that are going through the fellowship are getting transferable skills well beyond just getting their next job in a restaurant. So they're doing workshops every week in the classroom. They're working on building their resume, working on interviewing skills. They're working on how to communicate with their supervisors and colleagues. A range of other job skills that they can apply to the hospitality industry, but also any other career that they look for afterwards.
Now, I also want to highlight another organization that was a part of the program, that's Harney and Sons. How will their inclusion further support the mission of Clubhouse Cafe?
Yeah, Heidy talked a lot about coffee, but we have teas as well, and there's a lot of tea drinkers out there, and they make a great chai. But they donated all the teas to launch the cafe and providing great support moving forward. So it's another establishment. If people are familiar with them, they have their own store down in downtown area, and they've been really supportive of the cafe and again helping us make sure that the most of what someone purchases in the store goes right back to the organization. So if you come in and get a tea, you come and get a coffee, these partnerships allow it so that most of your purchase will go back to support South Bronx United programs and the Workforce Development Program instead of paying for the goods that we have to bring in.
That's amazing. And I really like that it's fully thought out in that sense, because it's kind of like circulating within the community. And that's always an amazing, just step in the right direction. So I love to hear that. Now, what are some of the qualities a participant should have, if they want to have a really fruitful and successful experience? And I would like to hear from both of you on that question.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? What qualities? Heidy has all the right qualities, so you can kind of share.
You said the qualities.
Yeah, like what are some of the qualities somebody who wants to join should have?
Oh, I think someone that's willing to learn, someone that's very on top of themselves, someone who has time management, someone that likes to communicate, or even if they don't, like is willing to try. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she nailed it. Coming in with a passion and willingness to learn is the most important. But yeah, the organization is key, and that's what we work on young people with. But support, making it to all the workshops, all the sessions. Once you get put on a shift, that you know when to be there and you know how to communicate if you're sick or you're going to be late. So all those are things that I think as you get farther in their careers, we take for granted. But for a lot of young people, is skills that they're still working on.
Now, I'm excited to learn, what are the next steps for many of the participants after they complete the fellowship?
Yeah, well, Heidy could share what she's doing now, but we have students, we have folks that are full-time students and those that are looking to go into careers. So one of our goals is to help place them in a job if they want to continue. Some are staying in the cafe, some are going elsewhere. And think about how we can support them with whatever next step that is, whether it's a job, whether it's education, or whether that might be another training program or something if they want to go into a different type of career sector.
That's amazing. And do you have any advice for maybe, because you mentioned that a lot of them are students as well, so what advice would you give to some college students or possibly even high school students who may be interested in joining this program?
I think a lot of people should. Wait, sorry, can you repeat it?
Yeah, so what advice would you give to somebody who may be interested in joining the fellowship?
Yeah, I think the advice I would give is that you should go all in. You should like be on top of it. Like just try it out. You won't regret it. So yeah, that's the advice I would give. Yeah.
And if I could highlight, Heidy's been doing it as she's a full-time student.
Yeah.
Do you want to share about that?
I'm also a Lehman student here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
So I'm a sophomore here, and I'm currently studying business. So I think all those skills that I'm learning at the cafe would go into college and after.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to hear about this. So this is the first time that I'm hearing, and it's something that's like really cool, like a cafe. I think most of these like work development, fellowships are usually like in an office or something a little bit more traditional. So I think it's exciting to see that we're kind of like branching out and doing things that I feel like a lot of young people would be interested in. So yeah, I just want to thank you both so much for joining us and kind of sharing, and you for sharing your story and sharing some advice with young people who may be interested in it. So thank you both so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you
so much for having us.
If you or someone you know may be interested in learning more about this amazing opportunity for Bronx youth, please go to their website at www.clubhousecafebx.com. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Open after this.